Okay. Good morning, my dear students. إن شاء الله تكونوا بخير, you and your parents. I want to say something before I start with this lesson, which is the final lesson for this semester. It's lesson number 7 of chapter 9, Dilation or Dilation. It doesn't matter. There was lesson number the symmetry, which is the lesson before this one. Actually, maybe you're not going to see it included at the material for the final exam. And to be honest with you, I ask you one question about it. And the question is a multiple choice, as you know. And the answer of this question actually is going to be the square. How or which of the following, the question was, which of the following figures has exactly 4 acts of symmetry? It is the square, the 2 diagonals, and the other 2 lines of symmetry. 1, 2, 3, and 4, the square. Lesson today, which is dilation, lesson number 7 of chapter 9. What do we need to make dilation? To make dilation, we need 2 things: center of dilation and the scale factor. Scale factor of dilation, actually, I insist to talk about 2 cases: k more than 1 and k more than 0 and less than 1. But could be the scale factor negative? Yes, it could be negative. Finally, we are talking about one of the kind of a transformation. But I need you to focus into these 2 things. K more than 1, that means enlargement. The figure is going to be bigger. And k more than 0 less than 1, of course, for the students who was asking, what is k? It could be half. It could be 1 over 3. It could be 1 over 4. Actually, it's any real number between 0 and 1. And in this case, it will be reduction. Second thing in this lesson, dilation, what does it mean? Dilation is similarity transformation. Similarity transformation. Of course, you remember when I keep talking about the 4 kinds of a transformation, we said there is reflection, which is the first lesson of this chapter. Then we talk about translation, which is the second. Then we talked about rotation, which is the third one. And this lesson is dilation. But the 3 figures, or the 3 kinds, or the first 3 kinds of actually transformation, we are talking about actually similar or congruent figures. But dilation, we will talk about similar figures. Look at this figure, OA and OA prime, OB and OB prime. Now, OA prime, how can we find it? By multiplying the scale times OA. Of course, the same thing, OB prime, the scale times what? OB. Type the scale. If I'm using this equation, it's going to be OA over OA prime. Or OA prime over OA. Which one? Of course, it's OA prime over what? OA. And OB prime over what? OB. This is how can we find the scale factor of this figure. Now, dilation in the coordinate plane. Look at this figure. I have x-axis, as you see, and we have the y-axis. I have point B, or P, x with y, and it's actually start deleted from the origin point. It's B prime, kx and ky. Look, we multiply k times x and k times y. K in this figure, it could be more than 1 because the figure is going to be bigger. OB prime equals OB times the scale factor, where k is the scale what? Factor. Okay, to make sure that we get the point of this lesson, look at this figure. I have exercise number 1. In this figure, I have exercise number 1. Look, in the figure, coordinate plane, I have A 0 with 0, B 4 with 0, and C 4 with 2, and D is 0 with 2. What is scale factor in the figure gives an image at 0 with negative 2. Yani I have an image, look in the orange or the orange color, I have 0 with negative 2. This image, it became 0 with negative 2. So what will be the scale factor? It's AD prime equal the scale factor times AD. So the scale factor should be AD prime over AD. What's the length between A and D prime? It's negative 2. And what's the distance between A and D? It's 2. So K equals negative 2 out of 2, and the answer is what? Negative 1. This is how we find the scale factor. Now, in the second, actually, question, he asked me, for example, now, to find the parameter of this rectangle, ABCD. Look, ABCD. And this is exercise number 47, actually, for page 556. One of the test prep questions. Again, A, it's 0 with 0. I have B, it's 4 with 0. I have C, 4 with 2. D, it's 0 with 2. The parameter of the rectangle, of course, it's 2 times length plus width. 2 times 4. From A to B, it's 4. From B to C, it's 2. And the parameter 4 plus 2, it's 6 times 2, which equals 12. Now, what will be the parameter if the scale factor was 2.5? Of course, B prime, 4 times 2.5, and of course 0. Why? Because I'm going to multiply 0 with 2.5. So B prime, it's 10 with 0. C prime, I need the length and I need the width. 4 times 2.5 and 2 times 2.5. So C prime is going to be 10 with 5. So the new length is going to be 10, the new width is going to be 5. What's the new parameter? 2 times length plus width, which is 2 times 15, and the answer is going to be what? 30. This is exercise number 47 of this actually lesson. The last thing we were talking about, actually, look at the figure. I have a scale, it was negative 1. The origin figure was A, B, C, D. And the coordinates 0 with 0, 4 with 2, or 4 with 0, and 4 with 2. And this one, it was 0 with 2D. After actually deleted, or actually after transformated, 0 with 0, it's still the same. It's A prime 0 with 0. B4 with 0, the scale factor, we said it's negative 1. So it's going to be negative 4 with 0. 4 with 2, it became C prime negative 4 with negative 2. And 0 with 2, it became 0 with what? With negative 2. Look at the figure. It looked like it was actually reflected across the origin point. Or sometimes we can say it is rotated 180 degrees. It doesn't matter. Actually, when I'm talking about this length, is the same thing, is going to be 4, and this one is going to be 2. So in this case, it was dilation. Yes. And the scale factor was negative 1. And if you remember, guys, I was talking about negative 1. Please don't forget that. When we have the scale factor equals 1, so it doesn't change. But if it was negative, that means it happens, or what happens is reflection across 100, or rotation across 180 degrees, or you can say it is reflection across the origin point. The first lesson. So dilation, when K equals negative 1, there is no change in size, but there will be change in position. This is the idea of talking about actually dilation. Thank you.